Fossil fuel companies are laughing at us. From April this year, energy bills are set to rise by 54%, which means that millions more will be driven into fuel poverty.
What do? You choose between eating and heating. It's very, very difficult.
At the same time, fossil fuel companies have been bragging about their profits. Let's take Shell as an example. Their profits have quadrupled from $4.85 billion in 2020 to $19.3 billion this year, and they're still growing. Together, BP and Shell could be set to make over $54 billion in profits combined. So why are ordinary people taking the brunt of these energy hikes? To line the pockets of these companies and their private shareholders. Considering these obscene profits, these companies should be paying a windfall tax to ease the burden of costs on ordinary people.
6 layers of clothes to keep out the cold, her central heating turned down low, while profits for the oil giants soar.
Just to be clear, a windfall tax is a tax imposed by governments on private businesses who report excess profits. In short, they can afford it. Sounds fair, right? Well, Rishi Sunak doesn't like the idea. He thinks that providing households with a £350 discount will be enough, despite the 54% rise amounting to £700 per household. Consumers have been overpaying on energy bills for the last decade. We're being ripped off. We only need to look at the SSE Energy Company, one of the UK's biggest 6 providers, to see the disparity here. While they recorded £600 million in profits this year, according to annual accounts, they were recently forced to apologise after advising customers to do star jumps and cuddle pets to keep their energy bills down. If energy companies were brought into public ownership, they wouldn't be bound to prioritise their shareholders. They could invest in renewables at the same time as being fully democratic and transparent to us, the consumer. Let's look at France as an example. Their energy bills are set to rise by just 4%, which is shocking when you compare it to Britain's 54%.
In France, I think that the rise is 4%. I mean, it's 54% here. I mean, what have the French got that we don't have?
This is because Macron has ordered the energy company, EDF, to sell energy at a cheaper cost to other countries. He was only able to do this because EDF is 80% nationalised, meaning that the governments are able to limit the pain of the cost on households. EDF supplies and provides electricity for households in the UK, meaning that profits go back to the French state. This is ridiculous and just proves that we should have our own public energy company here in the UK so that we can make our own returns. In 2017, the SNP promised to set up a publicly owned energy company.
No shareholders to worry about, no corporate bonuses to consider. It would give people, particularly those on low incomes, more choice and the option of a supplier whose only job is to secure the lowest price for consumers.
They ditched the plans last year and chose to sell Scotland's offshore wind to the highest bidder. This money could have been used to invest in public services and infrastructure, delivering for the Scottish people. But instead, they decided to line the pockets of energy giants and their shareholders. Despite this U-turn, studies show that public ownership is cheaper. Recent research by David Hall and Vera Wegman at Greenwich University found that eliminating private energy ownership would be equivalent to a 25% reduction in energy costs. And in 2013, a study at the University of Milan found when comparing electricity costs across the whole of Europe that public ownership is associated with 20 to 30% lower cost than private ownership. So if you think that energy companies should pay a windfall tax and that public ownership should be part of the national conversation, please share this video.